Hey everyone, welcome back to Brownlow Books. I have an ARC for you, an advanced reader's copy that I received. It publishes July 12th. So you might not see it before it actually publishes, but it's a new release. You know, that thing that I never get around to in time to actually tell people about. So, let's go right into it. It's Corinne by Rebecca Morrow. Long story short, Corinne has a relationship in her evangelical church when she's like 18, gets cast out for some shit that happens, and is just like always in love with the guy, Enoch. You're gonna say it different every time. And they come together again as adults with all their fucking shit. It's a romance. It's pretty simple, self-explanatory. It's no big deal. Okay, so on the book, it says, "This book is full of beautiful sentences that ripped my heart out. It's smart and sexy as hell. I'd like to know what fucking book they read. Because I didn't read that book." I kept looking for beautiful sentences and I was like, where are they? Seriously, where the fuck are they? This is one of the cringiest books I've ever read. Not gonna lie. Just straight up, it is what it is, okay? I want to start with things I liked. There aren't any. I guess I liked that I was reading it while camping so that I could read out really cringy lines and other people could cringe with me. I like that. There's like the occasional one little line of criticism of like fucking organized religion, and I'm like, okay, I'm with you. You're not doing it enough, considering that you've been cast out of the fucking church, and now you're in love with a guy who's still in the fucking church. Like, fucking no. So, I want to go on one literary thing first. There are over 200 parentheses in this book. The book is like 412 pages or something, so you're averaging like one every other page. But, you'd get run-on ones. Like, I came to like ones back to back, and I was like, fucking for real? And then there was 3, and then there was 4, and then there was 5. And then there was 5 with a parentheses in a parentheses. And I was like, how? Like, it was an entire fucking paragraph and most of the fucking page. I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, most of these parentheses do not need to be in parentheses. You could, like, rewrite the sentence, rewrite the paragraph that it's in to make it work perfectly fine. I do not understand why they need to be in parentheses. There's literally no fucking reason for, like, 90% of them. I don't hate a parenthesis. I just hate when they parentheses. Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I did not like in this book. So, I'm going to preface that with Rebecca Morrow is a pseudonym for a New York Times bestselling author. I think it's a dude. I think a man wrote this book because, hear me out here, Corinne has long hair down her back because in their church they don't cut it, and then when she went out and bid worldly, she just like didn't cut her hair. She's like, I like it, it makes me feel different. So she's got like hair like way down her fucking back. I have had hair way down my fucking back, and I think most women will agree with me here. Not a single fucking one of us would put a rubber band in it. It is described at least 3 times as her having a rubber band in her hair, and her lover Enoch is able to put his thumb into that rubber band and pull it off of her long hair without snagging, snapping, or tangling her hair. And I'm like, no, there's no fucking woman in the world who would fucking write that. Now, should I be proved wrong in the future? That's fucking fine, but I will criticize this as a fucking woman, alright? Alright. That's one of the things I hate. Other things I hate. Corinne hates herself. She describes herself like she's literally a pile of shit. She's like, I've got mousy brown hair, and I'm so plain and dull. And then she's like, I'm a big round fatty at 200 pounds. And I'm like, bitch, fuck off. Not once is her height described, other than shorter than Enoch, who is built like a motherfucking brick, apparently. So I'm like, 200 pounds doesn't really mean much if you don't have a fucking height to go with it. It doesn't. So, I fucking hate that. I hate how she describes herself. Which leads me to, I kind of hate how she describes Enoch. Because he is, as I said, is described as a brick. A big, solid rectangle. Very broad shoulders, like very round, solid middle. And she describes him as one of those guys that's handsome even though they're not handsome. He's just that built like that. And I was just like, the fuck does he mean? She describes his forehead as hanging over his face. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the descriptions in this. Like, that was just like the first major thing that made me cringe besides the parentheses. Which leads me into my next. The sex scenes are really fucking cringe. They're really fucking cringe. Like, it almost feels like teenage fanfic from someone in a church who's like, I can't say these words. Oh my god, what if I say these words, you know? And during the sex scenes, they just kind of like, literally they use the word growl their names back and forth at each other. So Corinne's always like, Enoch, and Enoch's always like, Corinne. And it's just kind of like, for real? You could have just described this paragraph and gone on. You did not need to add them growling each other's names back and forth at each other. Just fucking no. Well, we're on the sex scenes. This is so not suitable for work. Corinne refuses to call her pussy literally anything. Anytime she's talking about herself down there, it's just like, and my ... and she like trails off, and I'm like, bitch, you just called it a pussy to your face. Just fucking own it. Like, I don't fucking understand this book. It's really, really, really fucking cringy. They are some of the worst sex scenes that I have ever read. And like, every time she says his name, it's like not always in parentheses, sometimes in parentheses, sometimes it's italics. There's lots of italics in this fucking thing too. She's always like, Enoch Miller. Enoch Miller. And it's just like, why? What's the fucking purpose of this? I kept a tally of how many parentheses were used. So like I said, there's around 200. I wish I had been keeping a tally of how many times she went Enoch Miller. Because, oh my fucking god, there's so fucking many of them. And now a really weird thing I want to talk about. This right here on the book. It's it's a modern day Romeo and Juliet, and you'll whip through pages to hope for the impossible. Jodi Picoult, alright? I can't say I'm a fan of her to begin with, so this is just totally fine for me. I'd like to know how the fuck she thinks this is like Romeo and Juliet. Like, that was a 3-day relationship between teenagers that killed 6 people. I don't know how she can compare them. Like, this has your happy ending. Like, not everything's perfect at the end, but there's a happy fucking ending and nobody's fucking dead. And like, maybe the teenage part is, I guess, considered kind of like Romeo and Juliet, because Corinne gets cast out of the church and cast out of her family at 18. So maybe that's the part she's referring to. Did you only read like a third of the book, Jodi? I'd like to know how much of the book you actually read, or if you had someone read it and then just like let them put whatever the fuck they want on it, because you know, you're too busy to actually read it. I was just like, I fucking can't with this. Like, I don't. I don't. It is horrendous. It is so cringy. The entire way through, like, even things beyond the sex scenes are cringy. It's just kind of like, oh my fucking god, are you for fucking real? I mean, it probably doesn't help that I hate religion, but like, these are evangelicals. Everyone kind of fucking hates an evangelical, right? Because like, evangelicals think that going to the wrong church is worse than not going to church. So they just kind of hate everyone themselves. It's just, I don't get this book. Like I said, it is an ARC, you know. I got an advance copy, and it actually got to me before it's being published. So on Goodreads right now, it has 105 ratings and reviews. It has a 3.84. I literally don't know how. Like, this thing is lucky to be getting a 2 from me. It is, like, it's getting 2 stars only because, like, I don't even know why. Because the things that I've read that I've given 1 star to are a lot worse than this, I guess. It's getting 2 stars from me. Like, I read it, I flew through it like they said I would. But, like, it's the fucking worst. I feel bad. Maybe that's what it is. I feel like some people who get advanced copies from the author, from the publisher, whatever, feel like they need to give it a nice review, but like they want you to be honest. Honest. I am honest. I have no fucking filter. It's getting a very weak 2. And I might actually write a review for it. I rarely write actual reviews. I do this. It might get an actual review because it's baffling to me how people could read this and enjoy it and not pick up on all these horrible things that I've pointed out. Like, honestly, I think what bothers me the most is the rubber band. I have long, thick hair. Like, I regularly grow it out in order to cut it and donate it because it's like such a fucking thick hair. And so, like, just the thought of a fucking rubber band in my hair makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry. Like, you could have said scrunchie, you could have said hair tie, you could have made it a clip, like, it could have been literally anything, and you went with rubber band. So, that's the end of this. I am done talking about this fucking ridiculous book. I don't even know what to say about this. But like, that's it. That's all I can do. That's all I can do about this. So, I mean, who would like it? I don't know. People who like sex scenes. I don't have religion. I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for sticking around. Like, subscribe, all that. I'll see you around next time.